Check this out. I have cut a hole into an empty card box. That way, you can see completely inside there. But watch what I do if I need to get myself a full deck of playing cards. I make a finger just like this, and just like that, the entire deck visually appears inside the box. And right now, look, I can take every single card out of this box. We'll leave the Joker in there, we don't need it. And now I can do anything I like because this deck is completely 100% examinable. Stick around and I'm going to teach you how to do this trick. What's going on, folks? Welcome back to my favorite video of the week, Tutorial Tuesday. I'm going to teach you right now how to make this gimmick and then teach you how to perform it. But before I do, I just need to tell you some announcements. Do you know the meaning of sacrifice? I'm going to tell you the meaning of sacrifice. It's me today, right here for this video. It's currently a heat wave here in Wales. We do not have air conditioning in our homes, and our houses are designed to insulate heat. I've closed all the windows and doors, and I've put the studio lights on just for you, so you don't get mildly inconvenienced by the children screaming and having fun outside. Hashtag PTL. If you know, you know. Now, secondly, it was the very first one that I ever missed, the Sunday session live stream. I am so sorry. I repent for my sins. I love you guys. I'm so sorry I missed it. As you know, I was at the session convention all weekend. I was going to live stream at 5 p.m. from the convention. I sat down to watch Mario Lopez's lecture. It began. It was amazing. I got a text. It was 5:10. I did not know where I was. I'm so sorry I missed it, and I hope that this Tutorial Tuesday more than makes up for it. But of course, we'll be back, as always, next Sunday. And lastly, I'm gonna show you how this works. If you want to win this very gimmick that we make in today's Tutorial Tuesday video, then all you need to do is subscribe to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and comment anything you like down below. And the more you massage my ego, the more likely you are to win. I'm just kidding, don't do that. Just comment anything down below, make it funny, and I'll pick a winner by next Tutorial Tuesday's video and ship this to you free anywhere you are in the world. Now let's dive in to learn how to make the gimmick. So, this is surprisingly easy to make, to the extent that I don't need to sit down with you and show you step by step what I'm doing. I can actually just show you how the gimmick works and then show you how to perform it. So it's actually surprisingly simple. This is the gimmick, you're looking straight at it, and we can deconstruct it like so. Okay? And when I turn this over, you'll get a better understanding of what's going on. So that's the basics of it. What I've done is taken half a deck and I've cut out the centerpiece. I've then taken a playing card and cut it into the right size to just fit behind the centerpiece so it looks like a full card. And if you look very closely, you can see I've added some invisible thread here and here. And I've only added it on very loosely because we need to slide this card quite far up behind the lid of the box. I've then stuck a pile of magnets on the card here and under this white strip on the tuck case. That way you won't see any magnets when I open the lid later. So that basically allows me to have a piece of card that slides back and forth, and when I flick it, it shoots down and appears. Okay, so from the exposed view, it looks like this. Very, very simple, very, very effective. So, just like that. Okay. Now, on the other half of the effect, I have a card box. I cut the lid off it, just clean cut it off. I colored in the bottom of the box black with a Sharpie, very, very easily. I then stuck a white card or a blank card just to the very face of the box. So this is the back, this is the face. And that's essentially it. The only thing I need is a Joker and the deck to go inside. But that's the gimmick. It's very, very, very easy to make. It will only take you a few minutes. And my setup looks like that. And I can now teach you how to perform the effect. I take a Joker. I even actually have an odd colored back Joker. It doesn't matter because they're never going to see the back. And I place it underneath the flaps of the box, just like this. So it sort of locks it in place just a little bit. I then take the deck, and in the correct orientation, I place it inside the box, just like this. Now I have my deck case, which is going to go on top of the box, like so. And what I'm going to do now is pull back on the slider until it locks in place with the magnet, okay? And a good tip here is to bend this flap up to stop it from poking out underneath, okay? Just like this. Now I'm in this, almost in the setup position. I would be doing this in my close-up case. If I brought a close-up case with me or I have a bag with me, I'd be doing this setup really quickly as I'm taking the deck out. What I'm going to do now is lift the deck up just like this. Not too far, but just enough so that you can create some distance here. But what I'll be doing is holding the deck in a modified mechanics grip. So I'm going to be holding if you see this line of the front of the deck, I'm going to be placing that essentially in line with my fingers and then about halfway into my palm. Okay? This allows me to curl my index finger around the front corner and my thumb around the front corner, because that's going to create the empty illusion. So I lift the box up like this in this sort of deep mechanics grip. All right? And you'll notice that my index finger is not in the front, it's on the corner. So when I'm at this position, it looks just like that. Now, all this takes place in just a split second. So when these are in my case, of course you can lock the gimmick like this if you want to. I'd reach into my case, I'd quickly slide my slider into position and lift everything and hold. Okay, but that would happen just as I'm preparing. And of course, this is an opener. So you have a moment to get yourself into position. You're not going to do this in the middle of a trick or in the middle of the routine, because you're making your cards appear to do the performance. So I'd reach into my case, come out and say, this is an old deck, or maybe I'd say, people ask me, what do I do when I don't have any playing cards with me? There's a lot of great lines you can use with an empty deck of cards to make a deck appear. But I come out, and you'll notice I'm wearing a black t-shirt, and that's because of the black art at the front of the deck here. And I'm not going to be drawing attention to this, and nobody's looking underneath the box. Everyone is interested in this weird situation going on here that they're not used to. So I'm going to come out, and this is just to let them think briefly in their peripheral vision they can see under the box. I come out and I'm going to tilt this essentially right towards their faces. So like you're looking at this now, they're not really going to see the other view, which is this. I'm going to be doing this one-on-one, one-on-two, and point it right at their faces. They don't really get to see under the box again. So once I come out, they can see, they'll sort of see this. They'll see me come up and into view exactly how you're seeing it now. What I do next then is some subtle provers that the box is empty. So I talk about how there's a window, and I show my finger like a windscreen wiper right here, and that can just tap inside. And that, even though they're hearing the firm deck underneath, it's a nice audible convincer. And these audible and visual convincers are what the audience will take away in their memories after the effect, right? And this is what we're creating, is not just the moment of magic, but the magic that happens after they go away. So you can show just like this. And now what you're going to do, and this in my view, is I'm going to flick the magnet here. And I flick it at this angle, and it's going to cause it to just basically shift apart from the other magnets, and the slider will slide forward, okay? So I obviously can't do this slow, but at speed, I just aim right for the sticker on the box here, and it'll shoot down. Now you'll notice, because we're stretching this thread really far, it's loose, right? It's pretty hard to get this tight. So we need to remove this idea that this is a sliding card. And it's very simple, and it's just the natural action. What you're going to do here is, the moment you've struck the gimmick by flicking it, you're also going to release your grip of your hand to let everything fall flat, and that'll stop the slider shaking back and forth. So you flick one, immediately I'm going to release my hand. And now what you would do, I believe anyway, what you would do if this really was magic and you'd really done this, is you'd show them audibly this is real. And that again stops this from sliding, and you're basically hitting it and getting it to go nice and tight all around. So at speed, I get this into position, bit of depth. I'd come out ready to perform. Boom, here's an empty box of bicycle playing cards, and I've cut a big window out. This allows you to see it's empty. It also allows you to see the moment that the cards visually appear. 1, 2, 3. And just like that, the cards visually appear. Now don't forget, they see the back of this card. They don't know how this works. You have to remember not to feel guilty as a magician. It's called magician's guilt. To them, this illusion is almost completed. They possibly believe this deck is there. So we add the convincers. They see it, they hear it, and also they feel it. That deck now, you hitting this deck, they can feel the weight of it there. So boom, they can feel that. They know it's solid now. So then at this point, I can rattle the box to let them hear there's more cards inside. And I can show this pretty clean and fairly all the way around, right? Even though it's not perfect and I'm just holding it, I can show this pretty clean and fairly because they're not looking for these little details. What they're looking for is the deck. Remember that, okay? They're hyper-focused here. So all I do now is I tip the deck into my hand, and we want to thank ourselves for earlier for trapping the Joker underneath the flaps. Like this, because when you tip these out into your hand, I start to run my fingers to make sure that the Joker hasn't come all the way out. I try and get as many cards as I can. And as soon as I see that Joker, I'll say, oh, all 53 cards have appeared. Like this. We'll leave the Joker in there because everyone leaves the Joker in the box. Every layperson knows the Joker is not really part of the deck. And that allows you to not have to clean any of this up. So we'll leave the Joker in there. We don't need that. I would then toss this back in the close-up case or take this to your pocket and get rid of it. The important thing to remember is they can't figure out how the deck, the full 52 playing cards, appeared. And this is an opener, so you make the cards appear. The case isn't the secret to this, because they see that's empty. It's, how did these cards appear? So they visually appear, you take them out. It makes sense to keep the Joker in, so we don't even need the Joker, we don't even need the box. Ditch this in your pocket, in your jacket, suit pocket, or in your close-up case, and go into your effect. This is just a quick visual opener. Remember that. This isn't one of those miracle pieces where you want them to be pristine, perfect, and examine everything, because you are left with a dirty case. But one more time, right from the very top, from my exposed view, check this out. This is an old deck of bicycle playing cards that I've cut a window out from the center, so you can see that it's empty. You can also see the moment that the cards visually appear right inside that box. And we can take all 52 cards out. Oh, that's 53. We don't need the Joker. We can take all 52 cards out of the box. And now I can begin to show you some magic. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make that. I hope you enjoyed learning how to perform it. If you can't be bothered to make this yourself and you want to win one sent to you free anywhere in the world, then all you need to do is hit that subscribe button and comment something down below. Doesn't matter what it is. And I'll pick a winner by next tutorial Tuesday's video. That was a mouthful. So really quickly, just some further thoughts. This is just a fun, quick little visual opener. You'll know if you do perform magic that these quick visual openers are not really under as much scrutiny as the rest of your performances. These are usually quick, snappy pieces of visual magic that introduce you as a magician and establish your credibility as a performer. Normally you'll do 1, 2, 3 quick visuals and then start the main pieces of magic. So don't focus too hard about getting caught out with the gimmick. The other thing I'll say that a bunch of you will probably comment is that you can take this gimmick as far as you want. This is just really the starting point of how to make the gimmick, the basic core idea of the visual and the principle that I'm working with here. But if you want to, you can take that and work out a way to clean up the gimmick. There are ways of doing it. You can have ways where you steal out the gimmick and have the box looking whole. There's a million different ways of doing it. But just use this as your starting point and then get as creative and as complicated as you want to. You know me, I keep it very straightforward, very direct, and very simple. And for me, that works perfectly. But for you, you may want to make it perfect. You may want to make it super clean, ultra convincing. Go crazy, do what you like. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. This was again an exercise in creativity for me today. I woke up about 7 a.m., helped my kid, did some family stuff, and had nothing to teach you today. Nothing at all. But when I was at the session convention, I wrote down in my notes, appearing deck. I just wanted to do an appearing deck. That's all I started with. So I came into my office, I sat down, I thought, well, what would I like to see? How would I like to see it? And how would I do it? And that's what came together in about 30 minutes. That's why it's not fully fleshed out. That's why it doesn't have the steel at the end to clean it all up entirely. Initially in my head, I didn't know if this was going to be good. And even when I started toying with it, I didn't think it was very good. And by the time I finished working it and playing it and just workshopping it for the video for you guys, I thought, do you know what, I really like this. And I think it's got a purpose, and I think it's got something for somebody out there. Well, I think one of you will end up using this, or at least adapting it to your performances. But give yourself a challenge. Go out there and think, right, I have about 30 minutes to create a piece of magic. What do I want to do? What's my starting point? And just try it. And if it's not very good, it's not very good. And if it's great, it's great. You never know what you'll achieve unless you just simply go off and give it a go. That was my piece of advice to end the video with today. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'll be back on Thursday for another episode of Fooler. I love you all. I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Peace.